Alright, welcome to section 2.4. No, 4.2. My bad. And in this section, we're going to be doing a couple different goals, so it's split into a few different videos. This first video is going to cover the first goal, which is to graph a quadratic in standard form. If you forgot what a quadratic is, it's just an equation with an x squared in it. Alright, when you graph it, hopefully you remember that is a terrible line. Hopefully remember when you graph a quadratic, it's just going to be this parabola U shape. Alright, so in this first video we're going to be graphing the U shape. Sorry about the bell. Okay, so with an x squared there's two forms. The standard form is what we're going to be graphing in this video. This is the new part right here. And then you already kind of know how to do this. This is to graph when it is in this what's called vertex form. And so this we just shift our parabola. So it normally starts at 0, 0 here. But this one's going to shift to the left 3 because of this. It's going to be left 3, and then on the back here it's going to go down by 4. Right? So when we graph in that vertex form, what we're going to do is just take our point and go to the left 3, down 4. So I think it'd be right there, be our point, and then just graph our parabola shape like so. Alright, so this process is going to be vastly different when it's in standard form. That's what we're going to be learning in this video. Okay, so here goes with an example. Actually, sorry, before the example, here are the steps. Right, and there's a whole bunch of them, but basically in a parabola, the most important point is that vertex. Which a vertex is either like the top of the hill or the bottom of the valley. So that's the point we're going to find first, and that's just an xy point. X, comma, y point. Okay, and so the way that you find that vertex is using a little formula. So basically, there's some guy a long time ago figured out that to find the x part of the vertex, you just use this formula, which is negative b over 2a, and b and a come from this equation right here. A is in front of x squared and b is in front of x. Okay. Once you find what x is, then you can just plug in the x number into the equation. So you have this equation up here, and once you know what x is, you just plug it in here, plug it right here and right here for x, and then you'll find y. That'll get you the xy vertex. Alright, and then what'll happen is you're just going to plot that point. So you have a little coordinate plane, and you plot your vertex point, say it's right here. And then you plot the y-intercept. So not surprisingly, the y-intercept is on the end. It's C there, just like back when we had y equals mx plus b, like 3x plus 2 or something. That was a line, and that number on the back was our y-intercept. Same thing is true here. Whatever the c value is, that'll be our y-intercept. So you'll plot that point. And then to get another point, we know that the parabola is symmetric on each side. So I can't really draw very well here, but each side of the parabola is symmetric. So you're going to draw in what's called like an axis of symmetry through the vertex. And then you're going to reflect this y-intercept point across that axis so that you have the vertex and then two other points, and then we're just going to connect those points to make our parabola shape. And sorry I'm struggling to draw this very well, but you connect the 3 points and make the parabola shape. So those are our steps. You probably don't need to really write them down. You can always refer to these notes online when you need them. So to actually graph one, let's go through an example here. So the first step in our process is to find the vertex. And again, the vertex is just an xy point. And the x coordinate comes from this little formula. It says negative b divided by 2 over a. Alright, and a and b come from whatever is right in front of x squared and x. So if you look back here, a is what's in front of x squared, b is what's in front of x. Okay, so in this case, we have a of 2 and b is 8. Okay, so into our little formula, we're going to do the opposite of 8, just negative 8, over 2 times 2, 2a. To get negative 8 over 4, let's just reduce this to negative 2. So we have x equal negative 2. Okay, and that's the first part of our vertex, right? I could make a little point here. We know x is negative 2. We still have to find y. All right, and that just involves plugging it in. So we know y is going to be equal to, according to our equation, 2 times whatever x squared is. So, sorry, y is going to be equal to 2 times negative 2 squared plus 8 times negative 2 and then minus 2 on the end. Okay, and so from here we just got to do a bunch of different PEMDAs, which would be exponent first. So make sure you square this first to get a 4. Sorry, I'm really struggling with the writing here. Okay, and then next in PEMDAs we'd multiply stuff. So it would be 2 times 4 is 8, and then 8 times negative 2 is negative 16, and then a minus 2 on the end. Right, now if we go left to right, we'd have negative 8 minus 2 more, so we'd have negative 10. Okay, and so that completes the y coordinate of our vertex. Right, so I'm just going to plot that point, negative 2, negative 10. So it's kind of way off the graph here, but we should be okay. We can just plot it down there. Okay, so from there, we want to get some more points, right? We don't really know if the parabola open. Well, actually, we do know. I think we've talked about that already. This number in front, a, is positive, so it should open up. But to get a few other points, we can use our y-intercept, which is the number right on the end. So this negative 2 is where it crosses on the y-axis. Okay, and then to get one more point, I'm going to draw in an axis of symmetry, which is just a line that goes through the vertex. It's an x equals line, right? It's a up and down line. So that's technically x equals negative 2. That's our axis of symmetry, is that line. And so we just reflect this point, this y-intercept point. It's 2 away from the axis of symmetry, so I just go 2 in the other direction, plot a point, and then we have our graph. So from there, just take and connect the dots as best you can. I really struggle writing on this, I apologize. Right, but there's your parabola shape that has this vertex down here and then through those 2 points. Right, so it's kind of a lot of steps, but if you want to reference it, you can look back here at the notes. They're saved online if you need them. Apologies, I'm really struggling today with this. Okay, so those are your steps, and reference those if you get in trouble on the assignment. I'm going to make one more video of graphing one more of these, following these steps. If you feel like you got it, you can go on to the third video. If you want to see one more example, watch video 2, which will have another example.